Make some noise for Charlotte Cardin.
I'm so happy to be here. Oh my gosh, so many of you came. Well, hi, thank you for the lovely intro. I'm so happy to be here. I've been doing a radio promo run across the States for the last 2 months. This is my last week, and we're, finishing on the best notes here in LA. I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to go right ahead and play a ballad for you, and I'm going to give you a little bit of the backstory to this song to start with. So this first song I'm going to play is actually the last song on the track list of my most recent album. It's called Next to You. And I wrote that song with a very good friend of mine. His name is Patrick Watson, and he's an amazing artist from Montreal, from my hometown. And if you're not familiar with Patrick's music, you have to check him out. You're going to love him. He's absolutely incredible. And I grew up listening to his music, being absolutely obsessed with him. And so being able to write this song with him was a dream come true. And it's a song about needing to leave something behind, even though that thing may make you happy in the present moment, but knowing that it's not good for you in the long run. And I feel like we all have either someone or, a hometown or a job that's made us feel that way before. So this is Next to You. Thank you so much for being here. This is really fun. Well, maybe it's the fact that I can't go back now. Maybe it's the rivers that much calmer loud. But I can hear the storm knocking at my door, and I just wanna answer. I think I know its name, 'cause I'm the one to blame, always chasing a disaster. Now I have to leave, just so I can breathe. Please don't tell me that you miss me. It's too late to change, I just need a little rain. I'm just looking for a better me. I can't be those things next to you. I can't be those things next to you. I thought we'd be forever, but I'm changing like the weather. Up, down, got scared, so I went and cut my hair. As our words, they lose their meaning, I just need to feel that feeling. And it's too late to change, I'm already on the plane. I want it faster, chasing a disaster, just so I can pick up all the pieces, put them back without a reason when I'm there. Even if I'm scared, don't tell me that you miss me. I wanna be better, I wanna be new, but I can't be those things next to you. I can't be those things next to you. I can't be those things next to you. 'Cause I wanna be better, I wanna be new, but I can't be those things next to Thank you.
Make some noise one more time for Charlotte.
Thank you.
So thanks for coming out here today. I hear
I'm so
you're doing like
happy.
a whole U.S. radio promo tour right now.
Yes.
So it's
yes.
been nice to get you here. I gotta ask you something though, because you may not guess this, but like when I travel, people think I'm Canadian all the time.
Why?
It's because I'm a serial apologizer.
Oh, yeah.
Like every time I'm walking into an
That
elevator,
makes
like
sense.
it could be the same time as someone, and I'll apologize, like it's my fault. And I always
Yeah,
thought that
we
that was
do
like a
that.
stereotype, that people thought Canadians are just always so nice.
Yeah.
But like you seem to be kind. Like is that real?
Yeah, I think it's real. I think Canadians are really very polite. I do feel like it's in a. I've been here for a few months now doing radio promo, and I feel like Americans are so friendly in a very different way than Canadians are. So we're like polite and like we apologize for like existing sometimes, you know,
Preach,
kind of
yeah.
like I'm sorry. But Americans are just very warm and so we're like friendly in a different way, I think.
Have you been to the East Coast?
I have, yeah.
Does it feel like that out there too?
I mean, maybe a little bit less, but still, no. I just feel like we've been doing radio in the South and you know, kind of everywhere, and I really do feel like Americans are just so friendly all over.
I love to hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I genuinely do. And so do you speak fluent French?
Yeah, French is my first language.
That
yeah.
is so interesting. So you grew up in Quebec, right?
Yeah, in Montreal.
So which language, did they just teach you French in addition to English? I'm kind of unfamiliar with that.
So Quebec is a French-speaking province in Canada. It's like the only French-speaking province, and so school is in French in Quebec. Like the first language in Quebec is French. You also learn English in school, and you can go to English school if your family is English-speaking in Quebec. But most schools are francophone. Yeah.
Do you speak
Yeah.
both fluently?
Yes.
So could you teach
Yeah.
me French right now?
Yeah. What do you want to learn?
I want to know, where is the library?
Okay. So where is où?
Ooh, okay.
Easy.
Easy. Nailed it.
Is a so où est?
Ooh, eh.
Yeah.
Are you messing
Very
with me?
good. I'm like, you have no accent. I'm like,
Thank
are you
you.
tricking me right
I
now?
want to say this in
So-
3 languages because I know in Spanish, like, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Yeah, very good.
So I want to be able to
So
do it in
it's
French
easy.
too.
So in Spanish it's biblioteca. In French it's bibliothèque. It's like almost the same.
French is easy, dude.
Yeah.
This is
So
awesome.
it's où est la bibliothèque?
Où est la bibliothèque?
Very good. 10 out of 10.
Wow, I appreciate that. So I'm curious though, like if you go to bed and you have a dream, like what language do you dream in?
Oh, that's funny. Someone has asked me this yesterday. I dream in both languages. Apparently, it's like they say that if you dream in a certain language, it means you're fluent in the
Yeah.
language. So I mean, I think I used to only dream in French growing up, and now I dream in both languages. So yeah.
Is it like, so when you're songwriting, are there some like maybe emotions or experiences that you connect with more in a particular language? Like are there
Yeah.
some things you only sing about in French?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like I express slightly different parts of me in both languages. Like I feel like I'm a little bit sassier in English, and I think the very, very intimate, maybe very vulnerable songs, I tend to write them in French, but it's like a different kind of vulnerability. I feel like at this point, I kind of go from English to French in every conversation I have with my friends or my family. It's just kind of, we're a very Franglish, you know, a little bubble. So it's just very small nuances will be expressed differently in both languages.
And so when you're
Yes.
touring, for example, and you're here in LA, and I think the last venue you played at was the El Rey Theater here.
Yes, yeah.
So when
that
you
was fun.
perform songs in French, do you think do you see that people still connect to that even though we might not understand what all the words mean on the first couple listens?
Yeah, I think music is such a universal thing. Like I grew up listening to songs in a bunch of languages that I don't speak, and I think the emotion is what comes across. I think in the biggest way through music. I think obviously lyrics are so important, but the way that the artist or the band delivers the song and plays the song, that's how the emotion comes across. So I think music is just such a powerful universal thing. One of my favorite songs on the planet is a song in Portuguese, and I have been listening to it's a song called Boa Sorte, and it's a duet between Ben Harper and this girl Vanessa da Mata, and so it's half English, half Portuguese, and I've been listening to that song for like 20 years. Like I've been listening to it for the longest time, and I only recently Googled it. I was like, what is this song about? Like I love it so much, and I just
You almost like don't want to know because to you it feels it's a certain feeling.
Yeah, it feels. But you know what's so funny is that when I read what the song was about, I was like, that makes perfect sense. Like that's like the nostalgia was just you can just feel the feeling.
It's so weird that music does that.
Yeah.
Like it's just air. Like it's organized sound, and for
Yeah.
some reason, like it can cut through directly to your soul.
It's fascinating.
So where do you live now?
So technically I live in Paris now. I still have a place in Montreal, so I'm in between both. But I've been touring so much in the last year and a half that I don't feel like, the concept of a home is vague right now. But technically I live in Paris.
So since you've been touring the world, like is there a spot that you've locked in on that you're like, I'd really like to settle down there?
Well, to live?
Yeah, to live, like long term in the future
Yeah.
when you're
Well,
done touring so much.
I do see myself living in France, definitely. But I would love to live in New York for a bit. Like, I wouldn't want to, like, live there forever, but I love the vibe in New York. I love Nashville, too. I love LA. I just want to live in a lot of different
Me too.
places.
I have that New York dream too, but then I see a bunch of these TikToks where it's like you get a shoebox for like $5
Right, for
grand.
like a
and I'm
million, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
$1
not.
million a month. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to hear a couple more songs. Let's make some noise for
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Thank you. So, as I was saying a few minutes ago, I've been doing this radio promo tour in the last few months, and that's because I have a song called Confetti that's been playing on US radio, and I'm very excited. It's my first song that's been playing on US radio, so thank you, iHeart, for the support. And this is a song that I wrote with a friend of mine who's a big introvert, and I consider myself an introverted person as well. And we really bonded over the fact that, like at a party or a social gathering, we are the two like loners in the corner of the room, like just hovering by the bookshelves or just trying to, mind our own business. And so yeah, this is a bit of an ode to introverts, but the song is more of a party track. This is like just a piano rendition, very stripped down of that song. Wait, my pedal keeps sliding back. Okay, this will be better. This is Confetti, and it goes like this. Always been loud in a quiet way. I always feel alone in a crowded place. I always wanna stay, wanna go, wanna stay, wanna go. I don't know. I get sad on my birthday. I wanna talk back in the worst way. I always wanna stay, wanna go, wanna stay, wanna go. I don't know what to say. I wanna throw it all away. I feel like a zombie. I'll die at the party. Yeah, you'll find my body fully covered in confetti. I tried calling somebody to tell them come get me, but you'll find my body fully covered in confetti, singing la da 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 da, da 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 da. Find me in the club, looking golden, I know everywhere. I got no friends, I always wanna stay, wanna go, wanna stay, wanna go. I don't know, and I never know what to say till I'm already walking away. Wanna punch you in the face, but I won't, but I might, but I won't, and I don't wanna play. I wanna throw it all away. I feel like a zombie, I'll die at the party. Yeah, you'll find my body fully covered in confetti. I tried calling somebody to tell them come get me, but you'll find my body covered in confetti. I feel like a zombie. I'll die at the party. Yeah, you'll find my body covered in confetti. I try calling somebody to tell them come get me, but you'll find my body covered in confetti, singing la da 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 da. Da 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 da. Singing la da 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 da. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right. A little cover for you. Do I have any 90s kids here? I feel like I have a lot. Yeah. This is a song I absolutely love. It's a song by Chris Isaac, and it's called Wicked Game. This world is only gonna break your heart. The world was on fire. No one could save me but you. It's strange what desire makes foolish people do. I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. And I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I wanna fall in love. No, I wanna fall in love with you. Oh, no, with you. This world is only gonna break your heart. The world was on fire. No one could save me but you. You know it's strange what desire makes foolish people do. You know I'd never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. You know I'd never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. Like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love. I wanna fall in love with you. Thank you.
Anyone else have chills? Wow. I know Confetti, that was my first time hearing that live. I've
Oh,
seen
cool.
videos, obviously, but wow. And I know it's a good song, too, when I look in the crowd, and even the guys are, like, singing along to it. And I'm like, trying to look all hard, but not at all when that comes up. Does that song mean something new to you now, seeing the life that it's taken on?
Confetti?
Confetti, yeah.
Well, you know what? I realized ever since releasing that song, I realized that there are a lot more introverts out there than I thought. Like, I've gotten so many messages of people being like, oh my gosh, thank you. This is how I feel at a party all the time. And I just thought, you know, it's funny when you, obviously, when you write music from such a personal perspective or personal experience, you never know if people are going to relate to it or not. So lots of introverts out there, guys.
So I heard this term once. It was like an introverted extrovert.
Yes.
Because that's what I feel like you are as well.
Yeah,
Because you're very
exactly.
personable, like you're very talkative,
Yeah.
and same with me. Like I'm in a radio, but I think on the inside, like I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of interesting how that works sometimes?
It's super interesting, and I think it's also about like how how you gain your energy. You know, is it by being with big groups of people and feeling energized by like those relationships, or is it just by being alone at home and gathering yourself? And that's
So what is it for you?
definitely the second
Really?
option. I mean, I love, and for me, performing is obviously something that's so, it's a beautiful, one of the most crazy beautiful things that I have in my life is the relationship to an audience and all of that. But I think when I feel like when I'm tired and need to be energized, like the go-to activity for me is like definitely something that's alone.
Yeah,
You know
being
what I
alone to
mean?
recharge. So speaking of connecting with music, you just had an EP just drop on Friday, a week in
Yes,
Nashville.
Yeah.
Anyone heard that before?
Thank
Yeah?
you.
So
Yes.
how has the response been for you over the last 3 days?
It's been really good. It's always so exciting to put out new music, but especially for this new EP, A Week in Nashville, it is a super. And this is a little snippet of the EP that you're. Yeah, thank you. Just
A
kidding.
leak.
A leak, a special song. So it's a super personal EP, and it's those are 3 songs that I wrote with close friends of mine who actually became friends through songwriting. I went to Nashville a year ago, met these 2 incredible writers who I've been writing with since, and we became very close friends. And they're very, very, very personal songs. And so sharing those types of songs with the world is always like a little bit, I guess, nerve-wracking, a little bit scary. But once again, I've gotten really amazing support from my fans and people who seem to be relating to the song. So that's all I can wish for.
They do feel very personal, very vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess like I'm kind of wondering, what was the inception of needing to know that you're making this EP, like those songs together? Because they do seem to fit a theme. It's all
Yeah.
kind of about the end of a relationship.
Yeah.
So like what was it going on that you were like, I need to get these 3 songs out?
So, well, I've been in a long distance relationship for almost 8 years, and we're still together, guys. No matter what the EP sounds like, but it's a journey, and it's a lot of ups and downs. And being with someone for so long is, I'm sure a lot of you can relate. It comes with a lot of challenges, but especially when there's so much physical distance involved, and we're both artists, we both tour. It's really hard to like spend quality time. And so yeah, it's a very personal EP about navigating all of that, and asking yourself very important questions like, do I want this? Do I feel? And this next song that I'm going to be playing is called Lonely with Our Love, and it's yes, I love that. Thank you. And it's about feeling like you might be lonelier together than when you're actually alone. And I think you don't need to be in a long distance relationship to have felt that before. Sometimes it's very lonely to be with someone, and space isn't necessarily, it's not about being on different continents. Sometimes you can be sitting next to the other person and feel like there's so much separating you, so much emotional distance. And so that's what this song is about.
The way you talk about it, and even just reading into your lyrics, like I know you just sat with emotions. Like, do you sometimes feel like songwriters are experts in emotions because it's literally your job to just sit there and think through them and feel them and just kind of know what you're feeling to talk about it?
Yeah, it's very painful sometimes, but it's also very healing at the same time. I think it's about I think also surrounding yourself in the studio with people who ask the right questions and who know you. And I used to write everything by myself, and I thought that was the most personal way to write music. And when I started collaborating and working with close friends or songwriters who just knew how to ask the right questions, I feel like my songwriting has gotten so much deeper and more personal.
So yeah, when do you know when you have a song that you think will build with a collaboration and one that you're like, nah, I got to work on this one just with myself? Like, how do you know the difference?
That's a good question. I mean, every song is different for me. Sometimes I'll start a song and like just finish writing it in one sitting, and I'm like, okay, this is done. I want it to be like this. And sometimes I'll have like an idea. I love the idea, but I feel like I can't really push it further on my own. So that's when I sometimes like to surround myself with other people on a song that I started by myself. And then sometimes we'll just be in a studio with someone, and you start a brand new idea, and it just starts as a collective little project, which is also super fun. So it can take all these different shapes.
I wanted to ask you about Did Life Work Out for You?
Yeah.
Because that one is my favorite of the EP so far.
Thank you.
And it's just this idea of wondering where life would have gone with someone. And I like your line about not necessarily wanting them, but like
Yeah.
having that thought. Like, what inspired that song?
So, what inspired that song? So I was thinking about the very first, I guess, like summer fling I've ever had, and it's someone who it was like my first, he was like my first love, but for like 2 weeks, it wasn't serious at all. But I was just thinking about how I feel like we all, it's so interesting that for a very short period of time in your life, you imagined all these things with this person, and then you just don't talk to them for the rest of your life, and that's just so fucked up and beautiful at the same time.
So real.
It's so and it's so. I was thinking about that and what happened. The first lines of the song. It's a crazy story, but the first lines are, I ran into a stranger from your home state. I said I knew someone from there, and I said your name, and she knew you. And that's actually a true story. Like about a year ago, I was just walking down the street in Paris, and this girl stops me, and she's like, hey, I'm an American. I'm a huge fan of your music. And that was the first time for me that happened in Paris, that an American was like, I'm just visiting Paris. And she was like, I'm from Utah. And I was like, oh, like, haha, I know one person in Utah. His name is this. I just said it as a joke because, like, obviously she wouldn't know him. And she was like, fuck yeah, I know him.
Stop.
She was like, I went to school with him. I was like, what? And I like just really said it as a joke because it's like, people are like, oh yeah, I know one person in this country. Like, but she actually did know him. And so I was like, I need to write a song about this.
That's messed up. That is so messed up.
Yeah.
It was so crazy when that song came out. We're doing this event for our radio station called Second Chance Prom. So we're having like a do-over at prom if you maybe didn't have a good one.
Okay,
so
nice.
I went back looking for a prom photo with me and my prom date, who was my first girlfriend, like a good 4 weeks, thought it was going to be everything. And so I like had to look her up to ask her permission to post the photo. And like she's married with kids. And I'm like, that could have been me. Like that's...
Yeah.
Isn't that such an interesting, like...
But it's crazy how it just, those first, like, high school loves, and even though they're so short, sometimes they're so intense because it's the first time that you feel those things for someone. So, yeah, songwriting is interesting for that because it allows you to dig into
in
those,
there.
Yeah.
Do you truly believe that, like, everything works out the way it's supposed to?
For the most part, yeah. I think in relationships, definitely. Some things... not everything on the planet I'm like, oh, this was supposed to happen, but I think in relationships it usually really does. Yeah.
Well, that person in Utah got you these songs, so
Right?
at least that one. So that's great.
thanks.
So I'm excited to hear some of them. Let's make some noise for Charlotte.
Thank you. All right. So I'm gonna play this song, Lonely with Our Love, for you. This is my last song. Thank you so much for coming. This was really special, and I'm going to remember this moment. Thank you for sharing it with me. But yeah, this is about, 2 being the loneliest number sometimes. The gap between us growing wide was bound to happen over time. We live our lives in parallel, so I really hope this finds you well. Different ages, different nights. You'll have yours and I'll have mine. When all our plans have gone to hell and you're not here for me to tell that it's all good until it's not, and I'm lonely with our love. It's not mine, it's not your fault that I'm lonely with our love. So used to being without you, I can't sugarcoat this honey.